Looking forward to the new season, Paul?
Yeah, I am now actually, if I didn't get a couple of days away, I probably wouldn't be, but took a few days and I'm refreshed and ready to go, yeah.
Where did you head off somewhere?
Well, the lads went to Thailand on the team holiday, but I couldn't go because of work and commitments over Christmas, so I just slipped off to London for a couple of days, but job done.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Have you spent a lot of the winter kind of reflecting on last year's season? Is it something that you're able to put behind you?
Not really, no. We were straight into County Championship the week after and back with the club, and that didn't finish until the week before Christmas, so didn't really have a chance, and Christmas was there then. I was kind of busy, kept going there, so I haven't really had time to fully reflect on it. I haven't seen the game yet, even the replay. I'll have a look at it a couple of times obviously during the year now, but most of it's in my head anyway. I remember it vividly, but as a reflection, not really. Obviously I would have reflected in the week after the game and a couple of opinions and stuff, but look, and just move on anyway regardless, and we're back here at Dublin next weekend, so hopefully we can put something somewhere right then anyway.
They were brilliant games to watch. What were they like to be a part of?
Fantastic occasions, full house, Dublin full voice, and you're playing probably one of the best teams, one of the two best teams in history, it's great to be part of it. Unfortunately it was the wrong side of it, but anyway, that's the way it goes.
What are the moments that stand out, this kind of looking at from this point?
Well, the moments that kind of stood out for me was getting right into it again just before half time in the replay, and the Kerry fans were well backing us just going in at half time, and you think you're on an upper curve here and momentum is kind of with you, but it's probably the wrong time because we were just going in at half time, so we didn't get the best out of the momentum that we had just built and reeling them back in. Half time came at a great time for them in the replay, and then we came out after half time literally from the throw in like it was a sucker punch of a goal, and literally just killed the momentum, and you could feel it on the field. You could feel the stands, like it was just the air was left out of the balloon there, and pretty much the second half played out that way. It was kind of we failed to execute our scores, and the couple of scores chances that we had, and we just couldn't reel them in from there. So they were kind of big moments for me that could have went a little bit earlier to build that momentum. We might have had another few scores before half time, and the goal wouldn't have been a killer, and then we might have searched for a goal a little too hard in the second half then, but they were big moments in the second game. In the first game, obviously the big moments were when Dublin kind of fully pressed us, and we struggled to really get past the halfway line to get a shot in the dying moments when they were pressing hard, and obviously one more point would have done it for us there, but at the end of it we could have lost just as easy with Dean Rock's free out by the sideline, so we took that one, but the second day they were the moments the second day. Yeah.
What's the feeling when full time goes and it's a draw in Ireland?
On that day I was happy because obviously they had the chance to win it, and you had felt like we performed, but we didn't perform to our maximum here, and that Dublin were down a man or whatever. But you can go toe to toe then, and you're fully sure that you can go and win the replay. So it wasn't anything other than that. I know other fellas might have thought maybe replay, and but it's just another All-Ireland final. It can't be a bad thing to play in another All-Ireland final. So for me personally, I was just delighted that we got another go at it, and was kind of like a bit of relief because of Rock's free at the end as well. It was just worst nightmares. It was like the feeling almost of Cluxton in 2011 all over again here, that we're going to lose off a free at the last kick of a game and you don't have a chance to reply. It's just game over after the kick out, so at least that didn't happen, and that was kind of the feeling I had.
Are you back in training with Kerry?
Just this week now. It's been hard to get things together. I think there was nearly 16 or 17 fellas involved in club football right up until the Saturday before Christmas. Then there's 12 or 13 involved with Sigerson last weekend and this weekend because there's relegation games this weekend, so we've lost them. there was a holiday in between. You know, it's very hard to kind of get going. Now the way things are, guys keep themselves in good shape anyway, so you're not majorly worried about that. But we just don't have any work done as a team, I suppose, going into the open of the league, which could be a better situation for us. But it's, you know, we'll make the most of what we can do right now. But we don't have any work done as such. We just started this week, so.
How much of a bounce did you get from Peter Keane coming in last year? It was obviously 2017. It's a bit difficult for you.
Yeah, well, the year before was difficult. Obviously, we lost against Galway here, and then subsequently drew in Clonus and won at home, which was a strange feeling, having won a championship game and gone out of the championship off the back of a win. And you know, Eamon stepped away, and there was fierce disappointment in the camp in that you know, we'd left it like that, and then Peter came in, and he came in with a great track record with the minors, and you know, sometimes new is good as well. You know, well, new is nearly always good unless it's completely forced upon you. But you know, we got a bonus from it. You know, a new voice, fresh voices all throughout the top of the table there, and the management team and the backroom team. So it was great, yeah. And last year was because of the early exit, we were able to get back a little bit earlier last year, and we got a bit of work done, and it kind of continued into the league, and we had a great league campaign last year. So you know, things were very good last year at the start of the year in comparison to the start we're kind of being dealt with this year. But you know, as I said, we'll get on with it. But you know, getting to the league final was great for the young squad and the new team. So we got the bounce there, and then, you know, we might have stuttered a little early in the championship, but I wouldn't have said at the time we were stuttering. I would have just said we were developing as a team here, like it was just a development curve. And you know, when it came down to the crunch, we were right at the pitch of it then for the Mayo game in Killarney, and from there on we showed how good a team we were.
Experience put into the young fellas last year, I suppose, like in the last few years, like a lot of some seasoned players have stepped away. Like, it must have been a bit of a different dynamic last year as well.
Completely different dynamic, yeah. Throughout the squad, like, you know, there was a lot of young guys on the bench, and throughout the year, I think if you counted it up, I'd say maybe 30 plus got championship experience last year. Even up to Meath in the last game in Navan, there was a couple of new guys came into the team and the squad that day as well. So that's definitely invaluable, that experience. And what's experience really at this level? It's 5 or 6 games in championship, like, and that's a year of championship. So that's good experience, you know. If you go and if you have 40 games in your career as an inter-county player, like that's a good career, like. So you know, 5 games and 8 of that, that's good experience in 1 year. So you know, this year we'll be hoping to build on that, and obviously there'll be more new-blooded players this year, new guys coming into the panel. So looking forward to see what they add, and hopefully at the latter end of the year it'll be good state.
Do you have many new young lads in already?
There's a few joined into the squad. It happens every year, you know, at the start of the year. So I think there's maybe 10 or 11 new guys in around. So, and you definitely need it at the moment, especially when 12, I think we were involved with Searson last weekend. So, you know, we were supposed to have a game. We could only field 12 players or whatever. So you needed the extra bodies there just to even have a training session and that. So yeah. They're new faces, it's great, and they're going to drive it on now. They're going to drive us on another bit, try and get into that league squad for the first game here. It's a great nugget to be able to play Dublin under lights in Croke Park, and to try and get involved for that game. Like, you know, it's probably it's up there. Like, it's amazing, like, to have that as your first game of the season, because it's worthy of, you know, nearly August time, that kind of a fixture, and especially the being under lights as well, just adds another dimension to playing in Croke Park. I got to train here with the international rules squad a couple of years ago under lights, and it's amazing to play here in that atmosphere and under the lights. So it'll be a good occasion, and any guy that gets into the team or the squad will hopefully really enjoy it here the next night.
Would you be one of the players who would help those younger lads when they transition into the senior panel?
I think we kind of, you know, we're close enough down to Kerry anyway that a lot of fellas would be. There's only so many, you know, school sides, and even in Killarney there's about 8 or 9 clubs going into the same school in Brennan's, and it's the same, similar in Tralee and Dingle End of the other 5. You know, we kind of know each other all anyway. or know somebody that knows them, the new guy or whatever. So I think it's more of a squad effort that everybody kind of just straight away is just moving towards the same goal, and everybody beds in fairly quickly as well. So there's never really any need to be overly jumping on a fella when he comes in to say welcome. You chat to him, and everyone will chat to whoever's next to them, and just moves on really, and it's all down to the work on the field. Then it's all about the work relationship you can get with a fella in the field. And I think for me anyway, it wasn't having a fella have a hand around me in the dressing room that kind of made me comfortable. It was when I was receiving a pass that it comes from just a relationship on the field, or giving a pass to a fella because you know that they're gonna, when that relationship starts to happen on the field, that's when you start getting comfortable, I think. So yeah.
Is there any difference between the younger players coming in now and when you get into the talent for the first time? Are they more professional?
Yeah, well, they're definitely coming in better shape anyway, because of the way that the underage squads are going, and the information that's available. I remember my first time going in, I was 19 and I wasn't in good enough shape to be around the athletes that were inside the senior squad at the time. I learned fairly quickly, but the way it is now is they're pretty much on similar programs to us from an earlier age, so they're nearly ready to go when they come in. So there is a big difference there. Yeah, certainly.
Well, this kind of time of year, up to pre-season and the college competitions, there are difficulties between the two, and probably saw yourself. I think Billy Morgan's at the weekend of the inter-county. They're basically just nearly clearing the decks. The GAA are sort of clearing the decks to kind of make way for the inter-county season. Do you think that the college competitions are being badly treated?
Yeah, well, it's clear that it's been shoved in into the couple of weekends, and if you get to the Sigerson final, you can't play the first round of the league, so there's a conflict of interest there as well. Could hurt us. There's still a couple of guys involved, and if they go to a final, we'll miss them for the opener of the league. And to be honest, Sigerson is the closest you can get to the inter-county scene. People would have said the under-21s would have been before, but it's not. It's Sigerson level is the closest to what we're at in the senior inter-county scene, and you're looking at pretty much inter-county teams as Sigerson teams competing in a fantastic competition, and probably doesn't get the recognition it should get. I was watching UCC and NUIG last weekend. I think Air had it online, and it was a fantastic game. It was played in bad conditions, but you had two sets of highly talented teams going head to head, and they produced a serious game for this time of year. And it probably isn't getting the airing it should do, or probably the recognition it should do as a serious competition. It has been, squashed in a little bit, and Billy's probably right. Yeah.
Should they get rid of the pre-season competitions, do you think, then, to kind of give the Sigerson Cup a bit more space?
Yeah, I don't know. Pre-season competitions, are they? What's their purpose? I think is the question that has to be asked. Is it to blood players? Is it to win? Is it, every county has a different take on it, and I think when you maybe have one or two or three teams trying to win it, then it makes it more serious and it raises the bar, and everyone else follows suit, and then it's more serious, and then you have Tyrone and Armagh having 7,000 people show up to watch them, and that's serious business, and of course you get a big gate in with that as well. So are they ever going to be stopped or put in the back burner? I don't think they are, because of the financial side of it. So I don't know. It's hard to envisage anything else. But it's not for me really to be saying I'm just gonna, while I'm a player, toe the line as such. So I don't know what way they're going to do it. But at the moment. And look, to be fair, they are moving towards it. I think next year, I think the club semi-finals are going to be within the 1 year. It's just the final outside it, as far as I know. But they're moving towards a better fixture list, and they are trying to rectify it. But there's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of moving parts within counties as well. So it's difficult. But hopefully in the next couple of years we'll see a better fixture plan, fixture list within counties themselves, and that players especially will get at least a month off. Rather than playing games right up to Christmas, or like one of our guys see the game on the first weekend of the new year, and it went to extra time, and that was a replay. The original game was on the week before Christmas as well, and that's 2019's game playing into 2020. I don't think that's on, and those situations have to be rectified. Those players got no break, especially any of the inter-county players that are involved in that sort of thing. You go from one year to the other, you start up with your county again, and then you're still playing club from the year before. I don't think that's fair, and that's the biggest issue I have with the whole lot, that there's no player welfare in it, and you should definitely have at least 2 to 3 weeks off to recuperate, and get your motivation back for the following season.
Paul, the fact that there's a new Dublin manager, does that add an extra dimension to that opening game? Like, do you want to set a marker down for Desi Farrell's reign as Dublin, that Kerry can beat them early on?
No, it's just a different challenge, I think, more than anything, because obviously Desi's going to bring his own style and his own stamp to the Dublin team, so they're going to pose a different challenge for us this year to what they did before. It's more I think for us on how we developed from last year into this year, and how we continue to develop. Like if Dublin improve, we're going to have to improve and figure out how to beat them. We still haven't beaten them in the championship, so that's still the goal. It'd be different if we had been beating him and he came in and he raised the bar to a level that we didn't see before. But we've seen what Dublin have been doing, and we still haven't reached that bar. So we have to reach that before we start thinking about is he going to change much? It's uncontrollable by us, but we'll try just improve ourselves first, and then we'll see down the tracks. Obviously we'll get a good showing of what Desi's going to bring to the Dublin setup next week, alright, but it's as I said, about improving ourselves more so than anything else.
And the fact that it's Dublin Kerry, even if it's only the last week of January, does that make a difference when you're preparing for a game? Other than maybe Kerry Cork, is this the biggest game of the season from a Kerry point of view, even if it is only in the National League?
Yeah, will be, yeah. Obviously Cork is the main rival, neighbours and all that, but when you're playing the best, it's for anyone else in the country, Dublin's the biggest game on the calendar this year, and whether they're playing them at home in the league or if they're playing them here in the league, it's the biggest game until it comes to championship, looking forward to it. As I said, playing under lights in Croke Park is, you don't get to do it too many times in your career, because every second year is a return fixture. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think all the lads are too, yeah.
Well, can I just ask about the new rules? Have you had a thought about, say for example the black card is gone and sin bin coming in, is the sin bin enough of a punishment for a really cynical challenge in the game?
Well, I think it's more of a punishment. You're down to 14 for 10 minutes, so that's difficult, that's more severe. I just hope that teams don't suffer as a result of grey area calls, which before at least you could bring on a player for the player, but now you're 10 minutes out of 70 is a huge chunk of time, to be down to 14 men, and then a guy comes back in and he's cold, so he's got another 2 or 3 minutes to kind of get back into the game. So I don't know, it is severe punishment. I think it might work out better, with time will tell, but it's pretty severe. 10 minutes is a long time, and obviously you're going to have to kind of feel your way through how to manage that in games. It's a different dynamic now to what was there before, where you could bring in a fella and at least you're not down a man. They might be kind of have to feel their way into a game, but you're not down to 5 backs and have to drop one of your forwards into an uncomfortable position, or a midfielder back to a wing back, as such. So it'll definitely bring something different. The rest of the rules, although we tried them last year, obviously we went back in championship to the normal way, and we played the club season the normal way, so we haven't had enough done. We've nothing done yet, so it'll be difficult in the next 2 weeks to kind of really tune into all those, but I'm sure as the year comes on that everyone will get a grip of them fairly quickly.
From your experience of the attacking mark last year, did you enjoy it? Is it something that gives a bit of an edge to a forward potentially, or how do you view it?
I'm not a fan of it, no. No, I'm not a fan of it. I think it's very difficult to defend it. I think that the art of defending is and had been waning in the game, and it's a difficult task to pick up a good forward at the best of times, not to mind giving a free shot at goals for catching. I think the original idea was that it mark as an overhead catch, but like you can mark it from the waist down, or you can, even if it's an inch off the ground, you catch it on the full. You have a shot at goal. You could literally go through a game, kick 4 or 5 or 6 points just from making a run and catching the ball. I'm not sure on the whole thing of it. I don't think it's really our game at the root of it, but it is what it is now, and the changes have been made. So obviously you just have to get on with it and practice your marks.
Paul, and it seems as though over the span of your career there's been a lot of rule changes and stuff. Do you feel like the modern player of your era is kind of being used as guinea pigs almost, and it's a bit unfair towards you?
I think it has been. I think there's been a huge appetite for changing rules, and I'm not sure there has been serious merit for it all. I think like any sport, it goes in circles, and it's cyclical as anything. And the defensive stuff came in the early noughties, maybe to a serious degree. Obviously, the swarm defence, and that was there in the early noughties, but the late noughties and the early teens there, that came in as a defensive style of football. But then that mould was broken, and you attacking cornerbacks, which kind of sorted itself. Usually the game will sort itself out in a lot of ways, and then you short kickouts. The midfielder mark worked out well. If any of them did work out well, but it didn't stop short kickouts being taken, and they're still a huge part of the game. But games develop, and I don't think there was once the short kickout came and there wasn't a defensive side where everyone was dropping behind the ball. I think you had a fantastic game there where you had end-to-end stuff with the short kick-out, retaining possession, moving up the field, and it was end-to-end nearly because of the short kick-out. So I don't think it was a bad thing, but I think sometimes the game will work itself out rather than having to bring in rule changes to change things. Like even hand passing. Big problems about hand passing, but hand passing was always part of the game, and some teams would have been known for just being a hand passing team throughout decades, but they might have changed then, and traditional styles of football would have been always kick, pass and Kerry as such. Obviously Kerry will go through a period of hand passing due to the players that they have at their disposal at some stages, but it'll come back again. And I'm not sure are so many rule changes that necessary. Is it better just to leave the game feel its way out of it, and the next methods come into it? The next coaching methods come into it, the next flush of players come around, and then the game will kind of fix itself almost in a lot of ways. So it's hard to know, is there a serious need for all these rule changes and so many at a time as well? 4 and 5 rules, and we're still missing probably the main one, in my opinion, is a second referee. To implement all these rules, but or more power to linesmen to referee the game along with the referee or whatever. But that's doesn't seem to be on the agenda at all. But that's the way it is.
Speak to Joe about that. Just on the Kerry Championship, Paul.
Yeah.
You lost pretty heavily to Kerry this year, and they're going to be stronger next year with the relegation of Rathmore.
Yeah.
Is there still a place for those teams? Should
Yeah,
they be there?
well, it's tradition, so good luck changing it. But again, those teams will come and go in cycles as well. The last time East Kerry had won a championship before that was maybe 30 years ago. So that's the same as South Kerry then as well, a dominant period in the noughties, and it'll go in cycles. Dr. Crokes were 4 in a row and 3 in a row, I think, in the last 10 years as well. So they're only a club team, but things will come in cycles, and teams will have their go, and at the moment they're very strong. The bar is higher for the rest of the scene, the clubs in the scene and the other districts. So it's up to us to try and meet it. And if we don't, then the Kerry Championship is very strong because it's been won by a team that's of that calibre. So that's the way it was this year. We were flat going into that game. They probably would have beaten us anyway the way they played, and they didn't kick a wide out of 123. I think they had one drop short. If you're beating a team that's kicking that and not having a wide, you're kicking 124 off of 125 shots. It's a serious going. We were flat that day. We didn't do ourselves justice, but at the same time they're an incredible team, and a young team as well. So they'll probably be a force going forward.
You don't feel there's any appetite for change, though?
I don't know, to be honest. Within players, I don't think so. I think a lot of the clubs still would feel that they can, beat them on any given day, and like anything else, that's the beauty of championship. We played the same team last year, and we took an 11 or 12 point hiding from them in the third round, and then we drew them in semi-final and beat them the following week by 16 points. So it's not as if it's continuous and teams are getting 20-30 point beatings from them every week. It's not at that stage yet anyway, so maybe for the time being it's not too bad, but until that day comes, then there might be appetite for change if that day does come, but I don't think it will.
Alright, lads. Thanks for watching Our Game. Don't forget to like and share the videos, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe.